Hello guys, are you considering to move to Portugal temporarily or permanently? In this video, we're going to discuss how to move to Portugal and obtain the following types of residence permit. We are going to give an overview on the D2 visa, the D7 visa, work permit or work residence visa, student visa and residence permit, and finally the Portugal Golden Visa. But before we dive into this, we're going to talk about EU citizens living in Portugal and their right to stay in the country. So let's start. EU citizens can come to Portugal and live freely. However, there are some steps you will need to take as an EU citizen to have all your documents in order to stay in Portugal. As an EU citizen, if you want to stay in Portugal more than 90 days, you will have to register your stay with the local authorities, regardless of the purpose of your stay. It is an easy process and you have to show a proof of funds. Depending on the reason of your stay, you will have to provide other documents as well. If you're not retired, not coming to work or study, you will still have to register your stay. In this case, you only have to show a proof of funds and a health insurance policy. That's it for EU citizens. Now we're going to discuss the options if you want to move to Portugal as a non-EU citizen. Portugal is actually one of the easiest and cheapest countries to move to the EU, and also being a member of the Schengen area, Portugal is actually one of the best propositions if you want to work and reside in the European Union legally. The first visa we'd like to discuss here is the D2 visa, which is ideal for self-employed persons or if you want to open a company in Portugal. Among the requirements for the D2 visa, you have to show you have experience in the field you want to work, you want to open your business in Portugal, you will need to make a business plan for your company and some other documents such as a clean criminal record and proof of funds for at least for the beginning of your stay in Portugal. There is no minimum capital requirement to apply for the D2 visa as a business, but the higher the amount of capital you invest in the company, the higher are your chances to get approved for the D2 visa. There is also no requirements when it comes to hiring people. You will not have to hire any Portuguese citizen or European Union citizen. You can just work for yourself in this company to get approved for the D2 visa. There are also other types of requirements for the D2 visa, and those requirements are the same for every type of visa or every type of long-term visa, which include health insurance and also a document proving you have a place to stay while in Portugal. The next visa is the D7 visa, which is ideal for retirees and also if you have a passive source of income. The most important document to obtain your D7 visa in Portugal is the one showing you have means of subsistence to stay in Portugal. These can either be documents stating that you receive a monthly pension, or they can also be documents showing you have a passive income from investments or from rental properties, for example. The minimum requirement is actually pretty low, and if you can show you have an income of at least 7,620 euros per year, will be enough for you to apply for this type of visa and then get a residence permit to live in Portugal. Once again, the higher your passive income is, the higher are the chances you will be able to get this type of visa to move to Portugal. Just like all the other types of the Schengen visa in Portugal, you also have to show you have a place to stay and a health insurance policy. The next type of long-term visa in Portugal is the student visa, and Portugal is a great destination if you want to study in Europe. The basic requirements are the same, and then you also have to prove you are enrolled in a higher education institution in Portugal. One of the interesting aspects of moving to Portugal to study is if you do not require a visa to come to Portugal as a tourist, you can come to Portugal, then enroll in a higher education institution and do all the paperwork and get your residence permit already in Portugal. For this type of visa, you do not have to apply in the embassy, at the embassy in your country of origin. You can do all this process in Portugal. But you can also enroll to the university, for example, in your country of origin and then apply at the embassy and organize yourself better before you come to Portugal. Another interesting thing about the student visa, student residence permit in Portugal, is that the holder is allowed to work. So if you want to come to Portugal, study, and at the same time work to fund your studies, let's say, this arrangement is possible in Portugal. The next type of visa we are going to talk about is the D1 visa. The D1 visa is for those who have a job offer in Portugal. You can apply, once you get the offer, you can apply at the embassy in your country of residence, and then you get the visa. You will come to Portugal, start working, get your residence permit, and that's pretty much it. Portugal is also one of the very few countries in Europe in which you can come as a tourist, look for a job, and if you have a job offer, you can actually get your residence permit in Portugal without having to come back to your country and apply through the embassy. This is widespread, and many citizens from Brazil, Ukraine, Russia actually come to Portugal as a tourist, get a job which is usually in hospitality or in the construction sector, and then apply for a residence permit. While this is a legal route to stay in Portugal, I do not recommend it, as you have to pass through a longer process to get your residence permit and then stay in Portugal with all your documents in order. And finally, the last visa we're going to talk about in this video is the Portugal Golden Visa. The Portugal Golden Visa is actually pretty different from all the other types of visas, and while the requirements are much higher than the usual types of visa and residence permits in Portugal, you will also have much more rights if you are a holder of the Portugal Golden Visa. To get the Golden Visa, you will have to do a real estate investment, which is usually at least 500,000 euros. But there are some properties which can have to be approved by the government, and then you can apply for this type of Golden Visa, investing as low as 350,000 euros. This type of visa will grant you a residence permit and all your family members, immediate family members, a residence permit in Portugal. You can renew the visa each 2 years, and the minimum requirement in terms of spending time in Portugal is 2 weeks every 2 years. After 5 years with this visa, you and your family members can apply for a permanent residence permit in Portugal and also for citizenship. As we can see, Portugal actually offers a number of different paths if you want to reside in the country, and it is currently one of the easiest countries to immigrate to the European Union if you are a citizen of a non-EU member state. That's it for today. If you like this video and you want to travel, immigrate, or invest abroad, please subscribe. See you next time.